Hello again and welcome to the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship 2018. From one MSV circuit to another as we trade Brands Hatch for Snetterton. And after a Will Blackwell-Chambers hat-trick in Kent, Oliver Allwood has already staked his claim for glory in qualifying with pole position. I caught up with him a few minutes after the deed was done.
Well, Oliver, 7/10 of a second faster than everybody else in your group and pole position here at Snetterton. Not a bad start.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We did a little bit of testing beforehand, dialed in a really good balance into the car. Engine's been great. AB Motorsport have done a sterling job with everything. Yeah, the car's amazing. So just managed to hook it all up at the right time. It was a good lap.
In racing, this is a really important circuit to get right because you've got so many fast straights, that tight, twisty infield section. How do you find that advantage over your rivals?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I think, to be honest, it's in the balance at the rear. Everybody's been struggling with rear traction coming on to the back straight and through the fast corners. So we've just managed to dial in the right balance. The rear sticks, and it's good, and I'm able to put in a decent lap.
Well, 7/10 is clear in qualifying, but let's be fair, it's Snetterton. There's going to be an awful lot of race draft. I don't think you're going to be that far ahead by the end of first lap.
No, I probably won't have that kind of luxury, to be honest. But, you know, we're on the right position. We'll give it our best shot. I think we stand a good chance of putting it P1.
And, of course, there's even more incentive with Will Blackwell-Chambers getting all three at Brands. You want to take a few away from him this time?
Yeah, he wins too many races for my liking. So we have to take the opportunities when we can. We out-qualify him. Yeah, today might be the time we have to start winning. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, good luck with the weekend ahead, and hopefully we'll talk to you a few times.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Time to get the race underway then. The first race of the weekend here at the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. Oliver Allwood on pole position after being 7/10 of a second faster than everyone in his group. Brian Trott alongside him should be a really interesting campaigner. He'll want to get higher up the grid than he was at Brands Hatch a few weeks ago. This man, though, is the man on form. 3 victories out of 3 at Brands Hatch. Will Blackwell-Chambers is obviously hoping to keep the ball rolling, but alongside him we've also got Samuel Smith, who saw the podium several times over the course of the Brands Hatch weekend. Those 4 have been the ones to watch in the early part of the season, but we've still got some good campaigners. Mike Comber and Stuart Simons, really good in terms of their overtaking prowess at Brands Hatch. There's going to be plenty of action in this one. So I'll dash up to the commentary box and you can have a refresher as to what we saw last time out.
As the season began at Brands Hatch, Sam Smith stalked the pros from pole position and fended off the attentions of Will Blackwell-Chambers into Paddock Hill Bend. 20 minutes later, you'd have been forgiven for thinking he wasn't even in the battle, as Will Blackwell-Chambers managed to jog on and march ahead once he'd got into the lead, established himself out front, and took a convincing first win of the season. So far, so good for the reigning champ. Race 2, and he commanded the run to Paddock Hill Bend, with several drivers, including Oliver Allwood, Brian Trott and Sam Smith, scrapping for the remainders of the race. As the battle began and intensified on the run-up to Druids on the first lap, Will Blackwell-Chambers was having none of it and decided to start stretching out the advantage early. Which was just as well, because once Sam Smith had tracked him down, he was a hard man to shake off. Fortunately, the win was already in the bag. To make it 3 out of 3, Will Blackwell-Chambers had to dig deep and pull out his A-game, as the rest of the field were determined to take one away from him. Which is why when it went down to the line, Sam Smith oh so nearly got the job done. One more lap, and it could have been so different. So that's how the races were played out. Let's see how the championship looks after the first weekend. Blackwell-Chambers from Sam Smith, only 8 points in the lead. Allwood, Trott, Tolley and Langridge in the top 6. From Mike Comber, Stuart Simmons, then Teddy Clark and Michael Fisk in the top 10. Qualifying here at Snetterton, though, it is Oliver Allwood on pole position alongside him Brian Trott, then Blackwell-Chambers and Smith on the second row from Mike Comber and Stuart Simmons, Teddy Clark and Stephen Foden on that 4th row of the grid. Rounding out the top 10, it is Jason Greatrex and Marcus Bailey. Martin Tolley and Charlie Burge are next up from Adam Bessel. Welcome back to the championship. John Langridge alongside him, then Fisher and Orange, Milnes and Worry, Paul Bateman and Clive Poles, the leader of the 5 who are hoping not to be relegated. Canning, Cannon, Tucker and Craig. The bottom 5 from this race are then demoted into the second group. Let's hope it's none of those guys. Let's race at Snetterton. Cracking start from Allwood. Blackwell-Chambers has got a good one as well by the look of it. We're on board with Jason Greatrex. That is a fast starting Martin Tolley trying to come through off to the right-hand side of us. But of course to the left-hand side of the screen. Not a great start for Teddy Clark. He looks like he's being swamped as they go into Riches for the first time. And it's Allwood. Blackwell-Chambers on the inside of Trott. Smith is still there and so too is Comber, and it's a spin. That is the 43 Lewis Cannon clattering off the barriers on the inside line at Riches. What a disastrous start to his race as the field swarms through Wilson for the first time, back on the power and down the short stretch towards Palmer. Here they come again, and an absolutely terrific run this is going to be as everybody knits their way through. Now, Teddy Clark has got himself wedged in there behind Marcus Bailey as the field charges towards Agostini on this flying first lap of Snetterton, and down to the... Oh, hang on a minute! That is Smith! Smith is pulling off on the infield! Sam Smith, the man who started from pole position at Brands, it's game over already! What a disaster for Sam Smith! Oh my goodness, well that is his chances of winning this weekend in the A group already gone, because that will mean he'll be the first one demoted to the B group, and it'll be all uphill from there. On board with Teddy Clark as he tries to recover. Now that is Marcus Bailey in front of us, the leading Masters driver. And is he going to get a good opportunity out of Oggies on the short stretch to Williams into the right-hander? You don't want to push too hard on this opening lap. Just getting it round smoothly is the first part of the game, and these cars are incredibly slippery on cold tyres. Down the Bentley straight, and they will go under the bridge heading into Brundle and Nelson. This is one of the prime overtaking spots on the circuit for those with courage, but Allwood still leads the way. Trott in second, Blackwell Chambers down to third once again, and Mike Combo has gone with them, so these four are stretching away. And there is Stuart Simmons in the Club 100 car in fifth position. So as they filter through the bomb hole, now they go up the short stretch to Coram. One of the toughest corners in motor racing. It goes on and on and on forever, and you've got to be so delicate as you balance the steering, the throttle, and then bleed the brakes in at exactly the right moment. You're going to see a lot of drivers bin it at this run to Murray's, the final turn, as Teddy Clark slides there, hanging on beautifully in front of Adam Bessel. He's already got Bessel and the 94, Charlie Burge, behind him, and John Langridge is in there as well. Here they come over the line. No problem at all for our race leader. Allwood from Trott, Blackwell Chambers and Comber. The rest of the field charging down towards Riches for the second time. And those four really have broken clear. It's up to Stuart Simmons now in the 88 to try and stay with them as they fly out of Riches and up towards Wilson Hairpin. That's what remains of the happy tree, as I like to call it. And up the inside, Blackwell Chambers goes for the lead and very nearly taps the back of Allwood. So into second place comes Blackwell Chambers. Trott is just about given enough space to negotiate the run up towards Palmer. And now round the outside, Comber's trying to get through in a third position. Don't even think about it, mate. There's not enough room as far as Trott is concerned. And he is through. I bet Team Trott will be absolutely delighted with the way he's currently driving. On board with Jason Greatrex, looking back to Marcus Bailey. The 54 on the run to Agostini. Can he make a move on the inside line? He's not quite close enough, and he certainly doesn't want to chuck it up the inside too early on in this race when the move is almost certain to end in disaster from that far distance. Behind him, we've got Clark, and then in there as well, Adam Bessel, as we know, and the 94 of Charlie Burge. Great battles in this midfield early on here at Snetterton. Allwood still leading. Blackwell Chambers going for his fourth victory in a row. Allwood going for his first win of the season. But both of these guys know how to win in the Mazda MX-5 Championship. And we know that this circuit is absolutely prime Mazda MX-5 Championship material. Unlike Brands Hatch, this place has got plenty of long straights. So slipstreaming, drafting, wheel-to-wheel action is just about guaranteed around here. Brands Hatch was the warm-up, the starter if you like. Snetterton is the main course. Into Brundle once again, into the braking zone. Twitchy on the brakes. The car is a little bit nervous at this point. Then you go harder on the brakes into Nelson. You've got to keep the pace up, though, on the exit. A little bit of curb to straighten you up. Allwood has got Will Blackwell Chambers breathing down his neck through the bum hole. The car dips and absolutely bottoms out in some parts of that part of the circuit. And then into Coram. Look at Blackwell Chambers hustling Allwood as they come through. We're back on board a little further back. This is Teddy Clark as he battles away for position in the midfield. You can see in the left-hand side of the car, the rearview mirror, he's already got some hard work to defend behind him, as well as to attack in front of him. I think that is John Langridge in front of him now, the number 5. So Teddy Clark is pushing on down the main straight. Down the centre straight they come then, and Stuart Simmons still trying to keep in touch with the top 4. And that looks to me as though we've got the likes of Stephen Foden still in the mix there, battling away for position. Jason Greatrex is in the mid-pack as well. And that's a little bit of a mistake from Trott. He's going to have to shut that door quickly on Mike Comber. Nicely done. Very good work there from Brian Trott from the front row of the grid. Blackwell Chambers trying to overhaul Oliver Allwood. They've got a few car lengths between them. Now, there's a yellow flag in the background at Wilson, so it looks like somebody's gone off at the hairpin. We'll try and pick that up if we can, but there's so much going on at the front between these top 4 drivers that we need to stay with it. So there's been an off somewhere at Wilson. We'll try and figure out where it is. So there is the 88 in 6th position. So then we've got the 23 of Martin Tolley battling it out with Stephen Foden. And then here comes the charges up the inside. Langridge makes the move on Bessel. Bessel is going to be run out of road. Bessel gets to the grass and Teddy Clark is not quite able to overhaul him. Now he's going to have a look into Hamilton. Doesn't quite get the move done again. So he has to hang back, although Bessel was determined to try and get a bit of revenge there on Langridge as they go into Oggies. Very tricky corner. Still on cold tyres, don't forget. This is only lap 3, so these guys are still very much under pressure to make mistakes in this early phase of the race. So Langridge, Bessel, Clark. Teddy Clark's got a good exit off of Williams. He's going to get a charge down the straight. Here we go. We're right on board with the BC Cars car. Is he going to get alongside? Yep, no problem at all. Bessel's going to be mincemeat on the run to the braking zone for Brundle. He changes up the gears, but Bessel's still there. Bessel's still there to the left-hand side. Is Clark going to be brave around the outside? Yes, he is, and gets the place. Nicely done. There's not a lot Bessel can do about that one. And now he's in the clutches of Sebastian Fisher, who's really stepping up the attack with Simon Orange in there as well. Oh, sorry, no, that is Jack Worry in there as well. Clark now having to defend from Bessel again through the bomb hole. Meanwhile, further up, there's a little bit of jostling for position. That looked like Charlie Burge going for the move, but Clark has still got Bessel to shake off. Through that long sweeping right-hander at Coram, up to Murray's. The braking zone's got to be nailed right. Beautifully done. Excellent execution. Now Fisher is on the power on the centre straight in the slipstream of Bessel. Through goes the battle further up, and there's a black and white flag going out. Now, who's that going to go to? Unfortunately, the board is not in the right position for me to look at it. But through comes this battle, led by Jason Greatrex, who did such a grand job at Brands Hatch. Up the inside comes Fisher on Bessel. They're going to be door to door as they go through Riches. Still, they continue to battle for position. Up towards the braking zone for Wilson. Fisher's going to commit to this. Bessel's going to try and stick it out. But Fisher's got it nailed absolutely perfectly. And now Worry's going to try and come through on Bessel. But Jack Worry is not able to get the move done. Fingertips touching on the door of Jack Worry. I'm not going to make that mistake again, guys. For those who saw Brands Hatch, you'll know what I'm on about. But Jack Worry really pushing hard here to try and get one over on Adam Bessel. Up towards Agostini once again. Great battles all the way down this field, even in those final 5 positions where they're on the bubble, as it were. Fisher hanging on in front of Bessel and Worry as they go into Agostini. Back on the power, 3 or 4 cars up the road. They're all still battling away as they go into Hamilton. Terrific racing here in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship, the 4th race of the season for Group A. And this is where it's really going to start to get interesting. Now, can they continue to hold on to this? Still a good battle. These guys are safe from demotion, by the way, because it's only the last 5 cars that are classified that are demoted to Group B. So sadly, after his retirement on lap 1, Sam Smith is going to be one of them, because he'll now have to basically start from 5th position on the B Group race. But that means he'll be at the front end, so he will be gunning for victory in that. Watch that one later. Here comes the swarm of cars up towards the braking zone. Is Worry going to get a move on the inside of Fisher and Bessel? Bessel's trying to come back on the outside of Brundle. He'll get the inside line for Nelson, and Worry is on the inside of both of them. Bessel tank snaps, and now he's got Worry to his inside. It's going to be 3 wide in the bomb hole. Someone's got to yield. Worry backs out of it. So does Bessel as Fisher commits round the outside. Goodness me, that was brave from Sebastian Fisher. It looked like the other two were just a little bit too tentative through there. They realised that the inside line was not the place to be, and Fisher completely took advantage of them both. And decided to swarm around the outside. Now into Murray's, back onto the centre straight once again. Worry's got a good exit off the turn. And now they're going to get an opportunity to charge up towards Riches once again. Now here's the charge, led by Greatrex. Marcus Bailey in that lot as well. And now they're coming up to the braking zone. That is the 94 trying to get there on the inside. Charlie Burge of Jason Greatrex. But still, Bessel versus Worry in the midfield is the best action to be watching at the moment. They still continue to tussle for position. Back on board with Clark. Oh, he almost went into the back of Langridge. Goodness me, he just managed to cut across to the left-hand side in good time. But that was quick thinking from Teddy Clark. He suddenly realised that Langridge was stopping a little bit sooner than he was. So Teddy Clark certainly looking like the faster of the 2 drivers at the moment. If he could just pop his nose on the inside and get the move. Up to Agostini, he might get a chance here. He's come through Palmer. Look, he's gesturing to Langridge. This man is defending all over the place. He's treating it like a kart race at the moment. He's hugging that inside line, flirting with the apexes of the corner so much he's practically married to them. Back on the power once again. And Teddy Clark still trying to find a way through. Here's the battle further back. That is Martin Canning trying to resist Courtney Milnes. But Milnes is there on the inside, looking likely to get through. Oh, Canning is just about run out of road there. Keeps the car 2 wheels on the track, 2 wheels off it. Goodness me, that's like diddle diddle dumpling. My son John. Martin trying to come back on the inside of Courtney Milnes though. Diving up the inside and gets the place back into Oggies. Nicely done. So now the stretch up to Williams. That's the thing I love the most about the Mazda MX-5 Championship. You could be watching the front of the field, you could be watching the middle of the field, you could be watching the back of the field. There's always going to be a humdinger of a battle to watch, and you've got at least 7 directions to look in around the circuit for all the action. It's great to observe. Down the Bentley straight, up towards Brundle and Nelson. Rather hectic in this battle, but of course there's now only 4 drivers to go down into the B race, because one of them's already been decided in Sam Smith, as Milnes gets onto the very back of Paul Bateman trying to come through. Oh sorry, that's Canning trying to come through. Now Milnes is going to get on the inside of Canning. Oh my word, that is one heck of a bit of bravery from Courtney Milnes in the treble 7. So Milnes comes through, Canning is left out to dry. Was that track limits, I wonder? Certainly looked like there was a puff of dust on the inside, but you've got to give him 10 out of 10 there for hanging on to it, Martin Canning. That could so easily have gone against him. Now, here's the battle further up. This is the 23 of Martin Tolley, battling away with Stephen Foden, and here comes Simmons on the inside. A little bit of a twitch as Simmons makes that move stick through Riches. This is just outside the echelons of the top 5, of course, and Simmons having got through past Stephen Foden. Oh, a little bit of a change behind them as well. I wonder, was that Charlie Burge finally getting the move done? I'm going to have a slight look back as we go up towards Palmer through the left-hander, and I think that was Burge making the move stick on Jason Greatrex. So great move from those two as they continue to battle away, and their race has been going on practically since the start. There's Teddy Clark, there's Fisher. So they are charging forward. Up the inside comes Simmons to get the move on the inside of the 23 of Martin Tolley. Tolley trying his hardest to hang in there, but there's not a lot he can do. He's going to try and get the switch back, but also at the same time you've got Foden trying the same trick. Here comes Tolley charging for the inside, and now Tolley is going to have to try and resist Foden to his left as they come into Oggies once again. The 88 of Stuart Simmons though has made a clean breast of it and has got through. Now the charge up to Williams, but Stephen Foden is trying to gain another place. He started this race from the 4th row, don't forget. A few places in front of Martin Tolley, so he will feel that he's got an opportunity to get past him and to remain there. Although that little bit of tussling has brought Charlie Burge and Jason Greatrex into the battle. Leading 3 are still there. Coomber is trying to hang on to it in 4th place, but he has dropped back considerably. This is now the battle for 5th position. Such has been the fight back from Simmons. Tolley in 6th, 7th is Foden in the 77, and then we've got Burge in there in 8th position, 9th place Greatrex, and in 10th position, I'm not quite sure who that was, I couldn't quite see it from the far distance. We'll have a look at it though, as I'm sure that driver will get back into the game. Doesn't take them too long. Teddy Clark is in 11th position, that is for certain, trying to chase after this bunch. And Foden, full lock as they come up to Murray's, the final turn, back on the power once again, and it looks to me as though a great exit for Charlie Burge. He's going to get an opportunity to run side by side. Back to the front though, and Will Blackwell Chambers is taking on Oliver Allwood with Brian Trott for company. These 3 have stretched well out in front of the rest of the field, and Allwood pushing hard, you can tell, because the back end steps out big time through Riches, and now he's got another opportunity to close up. Will Blackwell Chambers hasn't got the space yet at Wilson. He will try and find his way through. Allwood a little bit wide on the exit of Wilson hairpin, and now up towards Palmer. Yellow flags. Now hang on a minute, there's yellow flags at Wilson. Now that looks like it could be one of the battlers in the 5th, 6th, 7th position battle. We'll try and have a look back. Coomber's there in 4th place. Now, who is in 5th position? If it's not Simmons, then we'll know something's happened. No, Simmons is still there, and up the inside, Blackwell Chambers goes for the lead on Allwood. Is it going to be 4 out of 4 for Will Blackwell Chambers as he takes the lead back from Oliver Allwood for the first time this weekend, but it's definitely the 4th time this year he has been in the lead of a race. Absolutely superb, but Oliver Allwood is not one to back down from the fight, and here at Snetterton he's got the best possible chance to overhaul him, because of course here at Snetterton, long flowing straights, much better for slipstreaming. And he's going to find it very, very tough indeed to hang on to things. but he will get an awful lot of speed out of the car down the straight. Here we go. He's in the draft. He's gaining mile per hour by mile per hour by mile per hour, and he's going to draw alongside. He's going to go to the right-hand side, and he's going to squeeze Blackwell Chambers into the braking zone. He gets in before they even get to the braking zone, cuts across to the inside line to stop him coming back through, and defends beautifully out of Nelson on the short stretch to the bomb hole. Oliver Allwood has retaken the lead here at Snetterton into the bomb hole. Goodness me, the car almost bottoming out through the bomb hole. It's one of the toughest corners, not just in the Snetterton circuit, but also in Great Britain alone. And as they fly through Corums, careful on the brakes, time it right, that was perfect and to perfection. Blackwell Chambers can get it slightly better and get out of the corner and sprint down the straight. Brian Trott just watching their every move. If there's an inch of a mistake, he is going to get them back. Black and white flag is out again, so drivers obviously pushing the track limits. Blackwell Chambers has really got Allwood lined up towards Riches. Can he pop up on the inside? No, he's going to go the long way round. Allwood shuts that door beautifully, just moves across a couple of inches to block off any challenge from Will Blackwell Chambers, then runs deep out of Riches. Blackwell Chambers is going to use that moment. He's going to dive down the inside. Brian Trott's going to get there as well. Blackwell Chambers leads. Trott is second. Trott now goes for the inside of Blackwell Chambers. Is he going to be greedy? He didn't quite get the throttle off the turn and has got to back down. Allwood is going to get back through in a second place. Oh, Brian Trott very nearly stole the lead there. Never mind second place. So a good bit of racing there from Brian Trott. Stuck his nose in just as Blackwell Chambers was drifting out wide out of Wilson. And now they run down to Agostini. It's almost 3 wide. Trott is going the far side of Allwood. Allwood's trying to tuck in beside Blackwell Chambers. Trott is now going to try and get the undercut for Allwood to get up the inside. He's not going to be able to get through. And there's still an awfully long way to go in this race, so they're going to be battling away for at least another few laps. Here's the battle for 5th position. Simmons has now broken a little bit of air between himself and Tolley. Foden is in there as well. Burge, Greatrex. The battle still very close indeed between those four, as Foden once again tries to swing out from the left side of Tolley to try and switch back into Oggies. But Allwood is on the offensive again, chasing down Blackwell Chambers. It looks like it's going to be the same old story. Down the Bentley straight. He's got him in the slipstream. Blackwell Chambers is trying to make him second guess which way he's going. Allwood commits to the far side, the outside line. He should sweep past him. They're going to bang wheels at this rate. And Allwood is going to squeeze him. Oh, beautifully done. Allwood is there. There's a little nudge. And into Nelson. Somehow they got away with that one. That is absolutely amazing. And that is Days of Thunder right now. That wasn't banging. That wasn't pushing. That wasn't shoving. That was rubbing. Rubbing's racing, as they say. Allwood, Blackwell Chambers and Trott having an amazing tussle between these three, battling for the 3 steps of the podium. If they're not careful, though, Comber is going to snatch a podium position off one of them. And potentially there might be another position up for grabs. Allwood gets a good exit off of Murray's. And as they go down the centre straight, Trott is now lining up Blackwell Chambers as we go into the final lap this time. And it looks like it's very nearly 3 wide. Trott is going to have a better run on Blackwell Chambers. Can he sweep round the outside and take the place away from him at Riches? He's going to try and commit. Blackwell Chambers is much stronger on that inside line. He's got less of a distance to go, as it were. Comber is still there in 4th place, watching this battle, thinking, go on, guys, just bang a little bit, just tap, just nudge each other into a spin. I'll grab the podium, thanks. But all this is doing is giving him a chance to close up. Now, we've got someone parked off at the side of Wilson there. Couldn't quite see who it was. I'm sure we'll find out who it was at the front end of the grid in Group B. Meanwhile, Blackwell Chambers and Brian Trott still tussling away for 2nd position. Allwood looks as though he's got himself a bit of a gap, and that is crucial at this closing point of the race. We're on the last lap here at Snetterton. It's a long lap, which is why I said with only 2 laps to go that there's a long way to go. In MX-5 Championship racing, 1 straight is a long way to go, because you never know what's going to happen on it. Although Blackwell Chambers, taking Trott with him for the ride, is having an absolutely great battle. Further back, this is the 6th place tussle. Look at this. Tolley, Burge, Foden, Greatrex and Bailey. 5 guys battling for 6th position. We're on board with Greatrex. He's currently in 7th place. Greatrex trying to make his way through into P6 as they squirm their way through Hamilton up towards Oggies. Back with the leaders. Blackwell Chambers has hunted down Allwood, and the gap is now invisible. And Brian Trott is there in 3rd position, trying to make the best of it from the front row of the grid. We know Trott's fast enough to win this race. Is he going to be tactical and smart enough to dodge these two? Allwood versus Blackwell Chambers. This is going to be the story of 2018 between these two. Allwood protects to the inside line. Blackwell Chambers has to yield, but he's not thinking about Brundle or Nelson. He's setting himself up for a charge out of Murray's. He's got to time this right. He's got to line him up through the bomb hole. Stay with Allwood. The car nearly bottoms out. You catch it on the exit with plenty of curb. Now you keep the car flowing through Corums. We've only got 2 corners to go, but this could still go either way. Trott could still get the victory here in the slipstream out of the final turn. Allwood is absolutely determined to hang on to this one into the final turn. Now you power on the throttle and you hope you've got it right, because now it's the charge to the line. Blackwell Chambers is in behind him. There's going to be an opportunity to sprint into the line. Is Allwood going to get there? They're going to be side by side. Who's going to get there first? It's Allwood. Allwood gets there. Blackwell Chambers is second, Trott third, and in fourth place it is Mike Coomber. Wow, Oliver Allwood has beaten Will Blackwell Chambers in a straight fight. 5th position over the line. Oh, well, we've got a nice squabble here for the final few positions. Not entirely sure how that one ended. We'll have to go to the timing screens. Allwood the winner, though, by 1/10 of a second to Blackwell Chambers. Trott in third from Coomber and Simmons. Then it is Tolley in front of Charlie Burge, Jason Greatrex, Stephen Foden, Marcus Bailey, and Sebastian Fisher, half a second in front of Teddy Clark. A long way back to Craig, Langridge, Orange and Worry from Milnes, Bateman, Tucker and Canning. And it's Canning, Poles, Bessel, Cannon and Smith who will go into the B group. Oliver Allwood, your fastest lap of the race.
Well, Oliver, that was a tough race after a strong qualifying, but it was a lot closer than I think we all thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, but I think, Will, I knew he's always going to be quick. He's quick everywhere. He didn't quite have the waft down the straight. It was a bit of a shame for him, but it was bonus for me. Yeah, we did a good start. Unfortunately, I made a little mistake halfway through, and I think I might have been able to gap them, but I don't know. Those guys are so quick. The car's been fantastic. The tyres went off a little bit towards the end, but AB Motorsport did a really good job with the car. And I had Blink Motorsport build me an engine over the winter, and it turns out that was money well spent, because it was quick down the straight as well.
1 down, another 2 to go. Do you think you can win 2 more?
Yeah. We've got the pace to, but there's 2 other drivers standing next to me that probably got something else to say about that. So it was pretty close. Any 3 of us can win it. So I'm just looking forward to tomorrow.
Cracking job. Welcome back to the top step.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Will, 2nd position, so absolutely 100% podium success rate at the moment, but that's not bad considering how tough it was out there.
No, it's not bad. Considering we didn't test on Friday, to be anywhere near the front is actually quite pleasing considering how competitive the field is. Big thanks to competition suppliers, my dad and MCR Motorsport for sort of getting us there. But no, happy race. Would like to have a little bit more straight line speed because we're struggling quite significantly, but other than that, it's all right.
Do you think there's time to cure that in time for race 2? Have you got a plan?
No chance. We're going to be needing to looking at new engines options for this one. So now this weekend's more of a rear guard activity to just pick up as many points as possible and keep scoring the podiums, really.
Well, hopefully you'll still leave the weekend as the championship leader, but it could be quite a few more chapters to write if that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a very long season. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Well done, Will.
Cheers.
Well, Brian Trott, great to see you on the podium once again, and a fantastic race to get there.
It was a very enjoyable race. Obviously qualifying fastest in our group and starting on the front row was obviously a big bonus. We've worked on the car this weekend. Big thanks to AB Motorsport and Team Trott. And yeah, we're getting quicker and quicker. The car's not done a hell of a lot of dry running. And to be this competitive this early on with the quality field that we've got is very encouraging. I was just missing a slight bit in that race, and as it wore on, that wasn't so much of a disadvantage, and I was obviously right in the battle at the end there, and anything could have happened, and bodes well for tomorrow.
It does indeed, because it's such a long race and such a tough circuit here where straight line speed and racecraft is such a high premium. Can you ever hold them again, do you think, tomorrow?
I'd like to think so. I mean, the bit that I was missing today and not getting a toe off them down the straights was a bit annoying, because the rest of the lap I was catching them up again. So if we can work on that overnight, I'm sure we'll be in the mix tomorrow.
Hopefully we'll see you a little bit higher up in the end of the racing day tomorrow.
That'll be the plan.